Hey all you super players out there, Ben Lotus aka 5 Buck Lunch, and today I'm coming to you with previews for the new tournament pack cards. These are the tournament pack cards that are going to be released with set 11 Vermilion Bloodline. So if you want to grab these cards, go to your local and play in some tournaments. So we're just going to talk about which cards are good, which ones you want to pick up to play with some of the more powerful decks. So first off, we're going to talk about Son Goku Godly Aura, which along with the Vegeta Godly Aura go in the Gogeta ramp. They're both Goku and Vegeta BRs. So you're going to play them with like Blue Veku ramp and things of that sort. They both have the effect that when they're played, you can add up to 1 red extra card with energy cost of 1 and no keyword skills from your drop rate to your hand. Then when you fuse with them, they each do something different. The Goku adds up to 1 card from your life to your hand, so it's a Self-Awakener. And then the Vegeta looks at the top 7 for a Gogeta BR card. And then if you add 1 to your hand, you got to discard a card. So just more kind of generic support for that deck. Probably still not going to be good enough to see actual play, but we'll see. Broly Astonishing Potential. So 1-drop swap 3 if your leader card is a red Broly BR card. And then auto when this card is played, you can't play copies for the turn. And place 1 card from your life in your drop area when this card is played. Add up to 1 red Ba BR card from your deck. Then shuffle your deck. So definitely going to see play in the Broly swap deck. I'm not 100% convinced on how good that Broly swap deck is going to be. I think it's a little slow and inconsistent, but this is definitely a card that we'll see play in it. So if you want to play that deck, go ahead and grab this card. New Unison, Son Goku Super Dimensional Awakening. It's a 2 specific 15k. You may choose, or for +1, active main, you may choose 1 card in your hand, discard it if you do draw 1 card, then shuffle up to 4 battle cards with 10k power and no keyword skills from your drop area into your deck. Active main minus 1, add up to 1 red skillless card, battle card with energy cost of 1 from your drop area to your hand. And then for a -3 active battle, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 25k power or less and KO it. This isn't very good, I don't think. I don't think that the red skillless or any of the skillless decks in that matter really need these effects. In particular, there's nothing really that makes you want to shuffle them back into your deck. Adding them from your drop to your hand isn't bad, but I'm pretty sure that the other red unisons are just better than this. And the -3 is basically the Jiren effect for the Jiren unison, but the Jiren unison does it better and is bigger. So this probably isn't one you want to get. Son Goku Power of the Golden Great Ape. 2 cost blue specific unison, which in itself has a lot of value because you can play it with Trunks and the counterplay Trunks. Has active main once per turn. So this is actually was misprinted on this card. Bandai's confirmed that it's actually 2 blue and 2 generic to draw 2 cards, which makes this card significantly worse because it actually would have been a great card if it was just pay 2 to draw 2. But you have to pay 4 to draw 2, which isn't nearly as good and will only really matter in really late game situations when you're both on really small resources. So +1, choose 1 of your mono blue leader cards. It gets plus 10k power for the turn. And then -4, if your leader card is a mono blue, you shuffle 5 mono blue cards from your drop to your deck, draw 2 cards. So this is basically, it might see some play just as a replacement to the Janemba Unison, where you're really just only playing it because it's a 2 cost blue unison for Trunks. I don't think this is good enough to stick in a deck for its own sake. 4 for draw 2 just isn't a good enough conversion. We have a card that already draws 2 for 2 in the Goku Ape. And the +1 is pretty mediocre. The -4 isn't bad. I mean, drawing 2 is always good, but it's going to take you a while to get to a -4, so I don't see that actually activating very often. Bulma at her husband's side, 1 cost blue. When this card is played, look it up to top 7 cards top of your deck, add 1 blue Vegeta GT card, then shuffle your deck. Your leader card is blue Vegeta GT only, and you place this card in its owner's drop area. You place the top card of your deck under your leader card. So I think that has to do with one of the Majin Vegeta's effects. But, I mean, this is just a card you'll play in the deck because it searches your Vegeta GTs. Simple enough. Baby Saiyan Power Absorbed, 3 cost 20k. Play this card if a battle card being played at a cost of 2 or less is placed at the bottom of its owner's deck instead of being played. One thing to note is that in the Baby deck, this is only a 2 cost card because you get to start with your field in play. Active main, if your leader card is a blue Baby card and you place this card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards which cost greater than their current energy, negate its skills for the turn, then return it to its owner's hand. So this card is quite good. In the Baby deck specifically, this effect of negate an effect and then return it to its owner's hand is very, very critical for the baby deck, since most of the time you're going to be trying to prevent your opponent from having a board. And one of the ways that your opponent can kind of get around you doing that is by cheating things into play, especially things with like higher costs. This is going to be great against things like Shin Shenron and other things that have like indestructible. Like, for example, this can also bounce like 5 drops of Masu because you negate the effect and then return it to its owner's hand, which is something that's pretty hard to do. So yeah, obviously this is just going to be a really good card in baby specific decks. Revenge Big Bang Attack. This card is also going to be extremely good in baby decks because it only costs 1 in a baby deck, and it's just counterattack. If leader card is a baby card, negate the attack, then switch up to 2 of your mono blue energy to active mode and draw a card. So it is essentially a dimension magic where instead of being able to play it for free, you get to draw a card, which is probably better. In almost every circumstance, this is probably going to be like one of the pull cards to pull out of the pack because baby decks are just going to want to run forward this card. It's just insanely good. Gotenks, greatest fusion of them all. 3-drop, 19k, deflect unique. Union fusion with Goten and Trunks for 1 green. If your leader card is green, when this card is played, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's unison cards or remove a marker from it. This card is actually very good. It counters unisons with deflect card, which means that the counter plays, other than the green one, I guess. But if they play the green one, you still get the effect. So you're committing 2 cards because you're unioning plus this card. So 3 cards, but you get to draw a card. So you'll get 2 cards in response. And removing a marker from a unison is just very good. So yeah, this will go in the Gotenks card, or in the Gotenks deck 100%. It's basically just a strictly better version of the one that's in the pack. Sun Goten, Brimming with Talent. Active main for a green. If your leader card is green Gotenks, add this card from your drop area to your hand. When this card is KO'd, add up to 1 green Trunks Youth card and 1 green Gotenks card from your drop area to your hand. So this and the Trunks, which I believe does the exact same thing. Yes, it does. Are both going to be really good in that deck. It's free advantage. You can just pay a green to add it back to your hand every single turn. And if you need to play it for some reason, and it's KO'd, you get to grab 2 cards. I don't see that affecting it very often. I'm pretty sure this is mostly just going to be for grabbing your union materials back for free or for 1 energy. Prince of Destruction, Vegeta Evil Awakened. This is a 1-drop servant. If your leader card is a green Vegeta card, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card is played, it gains a double strike for the turn. Excuse me. So this is an interesting card. It's servant, so it's always going to be a 15k, but if you want, when you play it, it basically becomes like a Kaba for the turn, where you take a life to gain a double strike. But you gain it when you play it too. So like if it gets popped for some reason or something, it isn't as good. That being said, servant is also good in the deck. I don't know. This card's really hard to judge. It'll probably be played in its deck, but it has some weird weaknesses that I don't know if I like as much as just playing like the regular, like when I attack, gain double strike kind of thing. Very, very interesting card. It will obviously be played in its deck. There isn't a lot of like super exciting cards in this. A lot of them are like strictly better versions or just things you would auto include in the deck from the pack, which I'm not as huge a fan of. I like these tournament cards to be not just like better versions of pack cards. It's kind of like, why didn't you just put them in the pack then? This card, however, is a really cool card that I'm actually really excited about. Sun Gohan and Higher Dragon, Best Buddies. So it's a 2-drop yellow unique. When this card is played, add up to 2 yellow skillless battle cards under the cost of 1 and different card names from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Active main for 1 yellow. If your leader card is yellow, you can choose 1 of your yellow skillless battle cards and place it into its drop area, play this card from your hand. So not only does it, when it's played, it's a +1, or a +2 actually, because you get 2 of those yellow battle cards. It also, you can pay a yellow to put it in play from your hand by getting rid of one of them. And then it goes and searches the 2 still. So it's just a very solid card for that deck. It allows you to turn one of your 10Ks into a 15K with very little, with basically a plus for you as well. Chi-Chi Demonic Transformation, 2-drop Servant. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and switch it to rest mode. It's interesting, I'll give it that. I believe that the Garlic Jr. has ways to play battle cards on your opponent's turn, but as far as I'm aware, they all play them in rest mode. I'll have to go back and double check. But it's an interesting card. It's definitely not bad. the ability to switch blockers to rest mode is a pretty solid effect. So this might be something that we see as like a 1 or a 2 of in the deck. Surprise Attack Naturian Shenron. 3-drop, double strike, EX Evolve on Naturian Shenron with energy cost of 2. When your leader card is yellow, when your opponent plays a battle card or unison card, you may choose that card and switch it to rest mode. If you do, negate the skill for the turn. This card is really, really good. This is one of probably the best tournament pack cards. It's a Sin Shenron card, obviously, but it's basically every turn a free Crusher Ball, which is a really powerful effect, not only because it can protect you early from attacks, but it's something you can get with your effect on 6, and this card by itself like just stops a lot of like secret rares and basically anything that doesn't have barrier from affecting you. It just is a huge defense against big cards basically, which is obviously very strong. It's got double strike, which is nice. That's, I believe, only one of the other Shenrons had double strike, which is something the deck was kind of lacking. Just all around a very, very good card for the Sin Shenron deck. Super Saiyan 4 Bardock fighting against Fate. Real simple, 6-drop, 25k with Overwhelm 6 dual attack. It's fine. That's what you want, you'll play it. Basically, there isn't a whole lot to this card. The fact that it's not 30k power is a pretty big deal, though. Unlike this one, Super Saiyan Goku Beyond All Limits, having 30k power means you can play it in the Broly deck, which is very important. Overwhelm 6, the leader card is black. When this card is played using Overwhelm, add up to 1 black battle card with energy cost between 3 and 7 from your warp to your hand. Very good, obviously. There's a lot of good battle cards you can get. You can do things like grabbing the black Boo back and using it to draw cards again, or a whole bunch of different other things. This is a card that will definitely see some play going forward, especially in the Broly deck. Lastly, we have one of the best cards in this set, Mass Saiyan Brainwashed No More. 6-drop, 30k, so it fulfills the things for Broly. Overwhelm 6, when this card is played using Overwhelm, plays up to 3 black battle cards from your warp in your drop area. Real interesting. It's basically only Overwhelm 3, kind of. It'll probably help a lot in the Broly deck when you're also trying to play your Brolys in the same turn. That being said, the active battle effect is insane. If your leader card is black, for 1 black, has to be black energy. Discard this card from your hand, place 1 card from your life in your drop area, and your leader card doesn't take damage from the battle. So this basically says, for pay 1 black, discard me, you're unaffected by double or triple strike for this battle. Which, wow, that's a really good effect, and something black didn't have access to before. This is going to be insanely good in things like Vegas mirror matches, where you're worried about Champas and stuff. Your opponent can't just combo out and Champa now because they have to be worried about Mass Saiyan or Brainwash No More, basically negating the Champa. So yeah, this is obviously really, really good. It's going to be good against... It basically makes it so you can't combo out against black decks expecting them to take multiple damage, which is huge. So yeah, one thing about this card in relation to Bibbidi, this card to me means Bibbidi is getting banned, like 100%. The reason for that is this card counters Bibbidi like super hard, because the whole point of the Vegex deck is to Bibbidi Champa and just knock your opponent down from 4 to 2, 2 to 0. This basically hard counters that, and giving the hard counter to a deck to the deck itself is really, really problematic, because now it means that with this card, the best way to beat Vegex is with another Vegex deck. And that's really, really toxic for the meta. So I'm pretty sure the fact that they printed this card means that Bibbidi's going to get banned. I was pretty sure it was going to get banned anyways, but this kind of like puts the seal on the deal for me. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see 100%. But yeah, so definitely the cards I would be getting. Brainwash No More, if you're just looking for like generically good cards. Shurion Shenron's going to be a big one. And these 2 baby cards are both going to be big, because these are all cards that are like required for their decks, and their decks are all going to be pretty solid. So yeah, go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.